I don't know if it's possible to make a relaxing video about math, specifically about statistics, specifically about the statistics of stubbing your toe. But if you can do it, I will try. Now, for the last 9 days, I have been tracking how many times per day I have stubbed my toe. Let's take a look at the data. On the first day, I stubbed my toe a mere 8 times. On the second day, 10 times. On the third day, 5 times. On the fourth day, 7 times. On the sixth day, no, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now it's for the fifth day, 16 times. I know what you're thinking. Ouch. Correct. The next day, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. On the sixth day, 11. On the seventh day, 6. On the eighth day, 8. And on the ninth day, 14. Now, there are many ways we could look at this data and many ways we could talk about this data, and we will do so. And we will learn about my toe stubbing habits, and maybe we will learn about some statistics on the way. But mostly I'm concerned about my toes and why I keep stubbing them at such an alarming rate. So let's take these numbers and let's write them in order, where we will put the smallest numbers over here, aka the least. And then over here, we shall place the greatest, most, aka biggest. Okay. Five. That was the least amount of times that I stubbed my toe. That was my best day in terms of not stubbing my toe. Then 6. Then this one. Then that one. Then another one, because I stubbed my toe 8 times twice. Then 10. Then 11. Then 14. Then 16. What that allows me to do, when I line them up from least to greatest, is right away I can see that these were the fewest days. So I had a 5 day, I had a 6 stub day, I had a 7 day, and these are my highest days. I wonder what the average of all of these would be. And I wonder if that's the same as the number that would be in the middle. I'm going to start by figuring out what the number in the middle is. So now that I have these lined up, I'm going to start coloring in from the sides until I know what the middle is. Okay, so those are the outsides. I'm going to keep going. Okay, see how I'm working towards the middle? Let's keep going. Okay, I have one number left. So that is our middle number. In statistics, we call that middle number the median. So that number is the middle number. Basically, half of the time I stub my toe more than 8 times a day, and half of the time I stub my toe less than 8 times a day. That's what the median tells us. It tells us where the halfway point is. So half of the times it's more, half of the times it's less. How would I find the average, which is not called the median? That's called the mean. These are two statistical words that often get confused and mixed up, so I want to make sure you know the difference. The median is the middle number. Just like on a road, where you have one road going this way and a roundabout going that way. In the middle, you have the median, that like thing that they put in the middle to make sure you don't crash into the other side. The median is the middle of all the numbers. But the mean is the average, and the way you do that is you add them all up and you divide by the number that you have of them. So here I have 9 numbers, so I'm going to add them all up and divide by 9. 5 plus 6 is 11, plus 7 is 18, so 8 and 8 is 16, so the 16 and the 18 would be 20, plus 6 plus 8 is 14, 34, 44, 54 plus 1, 55, 69, 79 plus 6, 85. We're going to say 85, and we're not going to double check my work because that's a lot of work. And we're going to divide it by 9. Oh, I have a calculator somewhere, but I'm not going to look for it. How would I do 85 divided by 9? Okay, how many times does 9 fit into 85? Well, I know that 9 times 10 would be 90, and 9 times 9 would be 81, so it's going to be about 9 and 4 ninths. 9 and 4 ninths left over because 81. Okay, so 9 and 4 ninths, which equals 9.4 repeating. I actually know that one because anything with a denominator of 9 is just repeating. So 9.4 repeating. That's the average. So the average is a little bit higher than the median. The average is a little bit higher than the median in this case. That's not always true. But what does that mean about stubbing my toe? It means on average I stub my toe about 9.4 times a day. And half the time I stub my toe more than 8 times, half the time less than 8 times. Okay. How do we feel about this? Let's continue. I'm going to keep that same data. I'm just going to write it up here again. So we've got 5, 6, 7, 8, 8, 10, 11, 14, and 16. Okay, and we said that the median was 8, and the mean was 9. We're going to call it 9.5. We're just going to round it up to 9.5 to make the calculations a little bit easier. It was 9.4 repeating, so close enough. Give myself the extra toe stub. So both of these things are called measures of center because they measure where the center of the data is. But they're also used in 2 different ways. So I want to start by talking about how we use the median. So I'm going to, again, this was our median right here. That was our middle number. So half of our data is over here. There are 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 days over here. And there are 4 days over here. Those are my 2 halves of my data. Now, what I can do to further divide this up into the more than just the median is to look for things called quartiles. Okay, well, this happened. Do we want to continue? Do we want to learn about quartiles? Let me know.